So, so you can watch all the videos, you can get all the mechanics, you can do all the things, but unless you truly understand the definitions, then the rule book is not going to make sense. And it's going to be the little things that you're going to miss. And without having a good knowledge of those definitions and the fundamentals, then when you get on the field, that's when you're going to make mistakes. Okay. And if something crazy happens and you don't know what the heck just happened and what to do, go back to the fundamentals. All right. 99% of the time, that's going to bail you out. Okay. And then the other 1% of the time, you'll be on the training video the following week, and then you'll be good to go after that. Okay. But knowing those fundamentals will bail you out. Okay. So, and these are going to be in order. So these definitions are not to the rules that we're doing and all that type of stuff. These are just in order of rule 2. Status of the ball. So there's 3 statuses: a dead ball, a live ball, or a loose ball. Okay. A dead ball is not in play, and the ball is dead during the interval between downs. A live ball is in play, and the important part here is a ball becomes live when the ball has been legally snapped or free kicked, and the down is in progress. So the key word there is legally snapped or free kicked. Okay, so if you have an illegal snap, can the ball become live? No, it cannot. So during a 2.5-hour game, is the ball going to be in the time? You can say it was time. Is the ball mostly dead or live? It's mostly dead, right? Mostly dead. Mostly dead. So you think about 48 minutes, 2.5 hours, a lot of time, the ball's not going to be live. So we're talking very short increments because the average play lasts about how long? 7 seconds. Yeah, 7. Yeah, yep. So not very long, is it? So we are really asked to officiate in increments of 7 to 10 seconds, plus a few seconds after the ball becomes dead. Because once the players separate, that's when we can take a deep breath and kind of recatch ourselves. A loose ball is a pass, fumble, or kick. The terms pass, fumble, and kick are sometimes used as abbreviations when the ball is loose following the acts of passing, fumbling, or kicking the ball. A loose ball which has not yet touched the ground is in flight. A grounded loose ball is one which has touched the ground. Any loose ball continues to be a loose ball until a player secures possession of it or until it becomes dead by rule, whatever comes first. So again, it's just defining when we say loose ball. So is a pass considered a loose ball? Yes. Yeah. Because the ball is either what? It's either loose or in player possession, right? There's only 2 options. Only 2. It's like the ball can be live or dead, and it can either be loose or in a player possession. So if it's not in a player possession, it's loose. And so when we say kick, that means it's a loose ball. A pass means it's a loose ball. A fumble is a loose ball. And just remembering those type of terms will help you kind of remember what the status of the ball is. Batting is intentionally slapping or striking the ball with the arm or hand. So what is the key word here? Intentional. Is that a judgment? Yeah, that's a judgment. What my judgment of intentionally slapping or striking the ball may be different than Sam's. Okay. But it should be the same as the 80-year-old grandmother watching her grandson play. Okay. If she knows it was intentional bat, then guess what? We have an intentional bat. If she's not sure, don't go looking for this. Okay. Don't go looking for this. Because when do we see this? Fumbled, right? And somebody's trying to pick up a fumble. And they're all discombobulated, hands are going, feet are going everywhere, and they hit the ball. If you did not intentionally, like obviously to where everybody knows, wait, that was intentional, then don't go looking for this. But the key thing here is intentionally slapping or striking the ball. All right, blocking. Blocking is obstructing an opponent by contacting him. So if you don't contact him, are you blocking him? No, you got to contact him. So if you whiff, is that going to be a foul? No, no. With any part of the blocker's body. Okay. So can I block with my hands? Can I block with my feet? Can I block with my legs? Is it legal if I block with my legs? May not be. That's right. That's right. But it's considered a block. It's obstructing an opponent by contacting him with any part of my body. Any part of my body. In blocking, a player may contact an opponent with their arms or hands, provided the technique is legal. The legal techniques are as follows. And when you study Rule 9, and you get into what's permissible blocking and legal blocking, illegal blocking, you got to go back to this definition to understand it. You got to go back to it. Do we ever see closed or cup hand technique? Does anybody know what that is? It's like this, right? Nobody does this anymore. So we're not going to talk about that. No, did you have helmets? Open hand. So open hand technique. This is what we see. All right. In advance of the elbow, inside the frame of the blocker's body. And the frame of the blocker's body is in front of the body at or below the shoulders. So I'm the blocker. So my hands have to be inside my frame. Okay. And the hand shall be inside the frame of the opponent's body, except when the opponent turns his back to the blocker during the block or after the blocker is committed to his charge. The frame of the opponent's body is at the shoulders or below other than the back. So we have two frames. We have my frame as the blocker, and we have James's frame as the blockee. And they aren't the same. All right? See, they're not the same. So, but this is why we talk about you have to see the entire block. Because if all I see at the end is my hands and James's back, but I don't know how that happened, I shouldn't be calling that. I don't know how it happened. All right? I've got to see the entire block. Because if I start to block James and he spins, try to get away from me, and now my hands are in the back, and all I see is that, and I throw a flag, I'm in the wrong as the official. If I go to block James and he ducks down, and I block him in the helmet with open hands because he blocked down, have I committed an infraction by this definition? No, I've not, because his action caused my hands to be in the wrong spot. The hand shall be at or below the shoulders of the blocker and the opponent, except when the opponent squats, ducks, or submarines during the block or after the blocker is committed to his charge. So when do we see this committed to the charge? You see that on like when they pull the guard or the tackle, right? And you see the big boy running out there, and you see a little guy in the back. I don't want to be hit by this guy. So what do they do at the very last minute? They turn, they go down, they do something, you know. That's crazy. That person that's turning, they may commit an infraction based on this definition, right? Right? They may commit an infraction, but I, as the blocker, have not done anything wrong. I'm supposed to go block James. Okay, James sees me coming, doesn't want to be blocked by me, and he turns or he ducks or he does whatever. You know, I can't be responsible for that. Okay. The hands shall be open when the palms are facing the frame of the opponent or when the forearms are extended beyond 45-degree angle from the body. Hands are supposed to be open. What do they teach them to do? Grab where? Inside, right? They grab them inside. And what are they actually grabbing? Shoulder pads. And a lot of times they're grabbing the buckle that buckles into the shoulder pads, right? The hands are supposed to be open, Okay. But I guarantee you that if you enforce that, how many holding calls would you have? All day, all day. And how many with the higher levels? How many successful offensive plays would you have?
None.
None. And that's right, none. All right, zero. So, as long as they keep those hands inside that frame of who the blockee, okay, as long as I'm blocking James, I keep my hands inside. All right, and then if James starts to turn and go after the runner and starts to disengage, what do I need to do?
Let him go.
Let him go. Let him go. So if Sam Davis is the runner and we're giving a fullback dive and I'm blocking James, and once Sam Davis gets parallel to James and James starts to turn to reach for him, you gotta let him go. Well, I gotta let him go. Okay. So, but by definition, hands are supposed to be open, but we know what they teach them to do. Okay? The blocker's hands may not be locked, nor may he swing, throw, or flip the elbow or forearm so that it's moving faster than the blocker's shoulders at the time the elbow, forearm, or shoulder contacts the opponent. It's a lot of words basically saying you can't throw an elbow. All right? You just can't go like that. All right?
It's also legal when I play.
The blocker may not initiate contact with his arm or hand against an opponent above the opponent's shoulder, but he may use his hand or arm to break a fall or maintain his balance. Okay? An offensive player may also use his arms or hands when he is a runner to ward off or push any player. So the runner's got more freedom, right? Pretty much, the runner can't do what? Grab a face mask. Ain't supposed to do anything else, right? So if I'm running and James is going to try to tackle me, I can push him, I can shove him, I can hit him, push him in the back, I can push him kind of in the helmet, I can do all sorts of things, right?
So that's why Derrick Henry uses his straight arm with his people up high.
Yep.
No call.
Nope. He's also 50 pounds heavier than all of them as well. During a kick to ward off an opponent who is attempting to block him. So during a kick, right, that means the ball is loose and we're running downfield and James is trying to block me and I'm kind of pushing him off to the side, right? That's legal. All right. To push, pull, or ward off an opponent when the ball is loose, if he may legally touch or possess the ball, if such contact is not pass interference, a personal foul, or illegal use of hands. Again, the ball is loose. So that could be during a pass, right? Or that could be during a fumble. Or that could be during a kick. Because the offense, what do we mean by offensive player? Team last in possession of the ball. So not necessarily the team that snaps it, but the team that's in possession of the ball. So again, if so, I can do those things. I can push, pull, ward off. If the ball is loose, if I may legally touch or possess the ball. So I'm on offense. Well, I am River Bluff. Okay, and we have the ball, and we snap it for a scrimmage play, and I'm an eligible receiver. So during the pass, am I able to do some things that you wouldn't do otherwise? Yeah. Unless it's pass interference or personal foul or illegal use of hands, right? So when do we see this during a pass play really come into play? A ball gets tipped, right? Gets tipped. Okay. If it gets tipped by B, then what offensive players are allowed to push, pull, or ward off an opponent? All of them. All of them. If it's a screen pass and I throw it too hard and I forget that Sam Davis is a fullback and not a receiver and it bounces off his hands, the offensive lineman, can they push, pull, or ward off an opponent? Can they? It came off I'm River Bluff. Sam's my teammate. I threw it off of his hands. Can they do it? No, they cannot. They cannot. So you have to know if who touched the ball to be able to do this. Because if it bounces off of Sam's hands and Rico's about to on defense, and he's about to intercept it, 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and before he touched it, James comes and tackles him, and James is the offensive lineman. Is that a foul?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a foul. That's a foul. That is a foul. Now, if James is a receiver and he pushes Rico out of the way, so it falls incomplete, is that a foul? No. So that's what I'm saying. You have to really understand this definition to be able to officiate that properly. It's a little easier for the defense. A defensive player may also use unlocked hands, arm, or hand to ward off an opponent who is blocking him or attempting to block him. Push, pull, or ward off an opponent in an actual attempt to get to the runner or the loose ball. The such contact is not pass interference, a personal foul, or illegal use of hands. So you got a bad snap on a punt formation, and it goes over the punter's head. And you're Anthony Stroman, and you're just mad about this because it's just annoying, right? It's just annoying as a referee when the snap goes over the kid's head. The ball needs to go away from me. You kick it down the field away from me, all right? So you got all these guys running back there trying to recover it, and they're just falling over themselves. They're pushing each other. They're shoving each other. As long as they're making an effort to get to the ball, you got nothing. So if Anthony sees one kid push another kid in the back while they're trying to get to the ball, we don't have anything. We don't have anything. There's nothing there. Note when a player simulates possession of the ball, reasonable allowance may be made for failure of the defense to discover the deception. This does not cancel the responsibility of any defensive player to exercise reasonable caution in avoiding any unnecessary contact. So basically, you fake the handoff. If the defense hits that player, what has the defense actually done? They blocked him, right? So if I fake the handoff to James and Sam Davis doesn't realize it's a fake handoff, is James a runner? No, because I still got the ball, right? I faked it to James. Sam Davis comes and tackles James. What has Sam Davis done? He's blocked him. He's obstructed an opponent by contacting him with any part of his body. So I could be a foul, but in this case, because we faked it, we're giving Sam Davis, because he played back when they got hit in the head a lot and had a lot of concussion. We're giving Sam Davis a few minutes to realize, all right, that James doesn't have the ball. Now, does that mean that Sam Davis can come up there with a elbow to the head? No. All right. So you have to avoid unnecessary contact, but it does allow Sam some flexibility to contact James to essentially block him when that may not be legal. So we don't see a lot of triple option teams anymore, but this was always a major issue, right? Always a major issue for the triple option teams because what would they tell the defense? You got that, you got that one, you got that one, you got that one. What does that mean to those kids? I'm just going to tackle that kid. That's what I got. I'm going to go tackle it, whether he's got the ball or not. Blocking continued. When a player on defense uses his hand or arm, the hand must be advanced to the elbow at the time of the contact and at the shoulder or below unless the opponent squats, ducks, or submarines. So again, a lot of this, they're kind of repeating itself here at this point. Blocking below the waist is making initial contact below the waist from the front or side against an opponent other than the runner. Contact with an opponent hands below the waist that continues into the body below the waist is considered blocking below the waist. Blocking below the waist applies only when the opponent has one or both feet on the ground. So the waist is very important when it comes to blocking, right? Okay, that's kind of a delineation point now for us, is the waist. So if you block them below the waist from the front and the side, it could be legal depending on the situation. That's what that means. So the waist, front, or the side. And if I have my hands down and you hit my hand below the waist and you continue onto my thigh, that's a block below the waist. Shot block is a combination block by two or more teammates against an opponent other than the runner, with or without delay, where one of the blocks is below the waist and one of the blocks is above the waist. Okay. Is a chop block ever legal? No. So if you see this as a foul, this is a safety issue, right? But again, the key is the waist. All right. Some of us may remember what it used to be, which was the knees. This is a lot easier, right? We only got 1 point. We got the waist. Okay. Yeah. So if one guy's above the waist, another guy's in the thigh, with or without delay, you've got a foul. Interlock blocking occurs when one player grasps or encircles a teammate just prior to or while blocking an opponent. We don't really see this. You'll see this on TV on Sundays sometimes. I don't know if they still allow it on probably not anymore, but used to be on like kickoff returns stuff like that. You see the guys hold hands. We don't see that at the high school level. A blindside block is a block against an opponent other than the runner who does not see the blocker approaching. It doesn't matter if you think he should have seen the blocker approaching. It doesn't matter. Your opinion on this does not matter. But what matters is, did he see the blocker approaching? And if he did not, that's considered a blindside block. Are all blindside blocks illegal? No. But by definition, before you get to that point, you got to know what a blindside block is. All right, so that was blocking. Pretty detailed, huh? A lot of things to go back. So I would definitely encourage you to go back and look at that. Fundamental one, number 1, possession. And again, these are our commandments. A live ball is always in possession of a team. Always in possession of a team. A live ball is either in player possession or loose. A loose ball is in player possession of the team whose player was last in possession. So if I kick it, then the ball is still considered in my team's possession. If I fumble it, it's still considered in my team's possession until the opponent recovers it. A player in possession of a live ball is a runner. A player cannot fumble before gaining possession. So what does this refer to? Muffs. No foul causes loss of the ball. So I cannot commit a foul that causes me to lose the ball. Now, after penalty enforcement, we could have another team awarded a new series, but the foul itself did not cause that.
Keyword awarded.
Yeah. After a distance penalty, the ball belongs to the team which is in possession at the time of the foul, according to applicable rules. Team possession may then change if a new series is awarded. Okay, so that's basically just saying the same thing. So after you enforce the penalty, team possession doesn't change until after a new series is awarded. Possession of a live ball in the opponent's end zone is always a touchdown. I think this is the one probably when something crazy really happens, go back to that one. Okay, you just know that one. You're going to be able to save yourself a lot. Okay, so that concludes the definition fundamental portion of today. Any questions about what we covered? No, y'all like this kind of format? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So now we're going to break up into, so who are our 3-year or less officials? 1, 2, 3. All right. I'm going to hand y'all over to 4. Oh, yeah, 4. Okay. Hightower, Sam Davis, and Al Morant left. So, all right. Okay. And then the rest of y'all, Anthony and Crowell will take over and kind of go through like pregame and things like that.
Are we gonna stay in here?
It's up to y'all. Y'all can go down the field if you want to. Y'all can stay up here. They're still down there. Yeah. All right. For those of you online, I'm gonna stop the Zoom call, and we'll I'll get James the list of who was here for people to get credit. We had 25 online, by the way. All right.
Oh, let me-
Oh, I'll send it to you.
okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Zoom, it's over.
Yeah. Yep.
Basically, me and James, we just